Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about the 10 things not to do when you are using a platform like Zoom to either present content or host an online meeting. So, there's plenty to talk about. Before we dive in, I do want to say, please do feel free to share this video with any of your colleagues, people you work with, your friends, so you can make sure that all of your online experiences over the coming weeks and months are the best they can possibly be. I can promise you that if you watch this video, the next meeting that you host, the next online presentation that you do, it will be the best that it has ever been. So let's dive in. Tip number 1, make sure you don't turn off your video. The whole point of a video platform like Zoom is that you can see each other's faces, and that's what people are expecting when they are invited on a Zoom meeting, a Zoom call. They want to see your face. Now, having the screen like this with just your name on there is no point. You might as well just pick up the telephone and have a call. There is absolutely no point in not showing your face. And if you don't want people to see your face, well, I'm afraid you gotta suck it up and just get on with it. So don't turn the video off. Number 2, make sure you're suitably dressed. Now that may seem obvious, but oh my goodness, I have seen people that I work with in the offices and then I'm having calls with them and it is like, oh, whoa. Make sure that you are presentable because that will make you want to turn your video on in the first place. So I would always recommend making an effort. You want people to be able to see you online as they would see you normally in your working office environment. Now that doesn't mean you have to be in a suit. It just means you need to make an effort. And that's for yourself as well. You want to feel good when you're using a video platform. Tip number 3, don't leave your microphone live. How many times have you been on calls where you can hear someone's dog, cat, kid, washing machine in the background? It is so distracting. All too often, people don't realize that everybody else on the call can hear it. Make sure when you dial in that you mute your microphone. Now, if you are the person hosting the meeting, you can mute everybody's microphone when you speak, and I would encourage you to do that. I'm going to make a whole different video on how you should structure an online meeting, but believe me, muting people's microphones makes all the difference. Tip number 4, if you are going to be doing a lot more online presentations, a lot more online meetings, then I would suggest you invest in one of these. This is a microphone that I picked up from Amazon. It didn't cost that much. I'll put a link to this microphone below if you want to check it out. It's super simple to use. I didn't read the instructions. I just plugged it in and it works straight away. It's really good. Tip number 5, don't make people look into the inside of your nose cavity. When people are presenting online, this tends to be the angle that they choose. And it's where I'm just sat, I'm in my seat at my desk, and my laptop is on my desk. And you'll see it's such an unflattering shot. Looking up at someone like this on your chin, your face. It's no wonder people like to turn their video off. What you need to do is this. You need to get some boxes, and lift your laptop up, adjust your screen accordingly, and there you go. It's a much better eye line. So when you are presenting online, when you're on an online meeting, make sure you put your laptop up higher so that your eye line is in line with the lens. Tip number 6, don't have a really messy background. How many times have you seen people's backgrounds and thought, what on earth is that? People are sat in front of all sorts of rubbish. Really have a clean background so it doesn't cause a distraction. Now, in my case, I've actually got a background on a stand here. I'm in my office. The rest of my office is pretty messy, but this part here is nice and tidy. And this is where I would choose to do any online meetings, any online presentations. Nobody wants to be distracted with a messy background. Tip number 7, which happens to be the biggest bugbearer of mine. If you have something that is really important that you want to deliver to an audience, say you're a CEO or you're a manager or you've got a team and you're having to deliver some pretty important information, which a lot of people will be during this time, then please don't put the notes to the side of the screen and read it like I'm trying to do now. It looks terrible. If you're talking to people, you need to make sure that you are always looking at the camera lens. And the way to do that is to get a little post-it note, stick it to the top of your machine and put on it, "Look here." So as a constant reminder of where you need to be focusing when you are delivering your content. And while we're on this subject, if you have something that is really important to deliver, far better to say it from here. Say it from the heart so that it's authentic and people believe it. If you have notes to the side of your screen and you're constantly looking away from the camera, you won't look sincere, you'll look shifty, it doesn't sound believable, so scrap that. If you must have notes, just hold them. Far better to show that you're prepared than to try and pretend that you're not looking at something. Don't put your notes to the side of the screen. It's awful. Tip number 8, don't interrupt people. If you're on a call where there are multiple people, don't interrupt. It can cause all manner of problems. People are asking if somebody heard it. Did you hear that? No, did you hear that? I didn't hear it. Does somebody who wanted to speak? Oh, it's awful. Don't interrupt people. Instead, always have a notebook handy and just jot down your notes. So when it is your turn to speak, you can address any points then. Tip number 9, don't multitask. It's really easy to try and do multiple things while you're at home and you're attending online meetings and there's loads of distractions, but try to keep focused on the task in hand, which is either presenting online or being involved in an online meeting. As soon as you start multitasking, you will direct the attention of everybody else. They'll start wondering what you're doing. And especially if you turn off your video randomly, people will wonder what on earth you are up to. Finally, tip number 10, don't not have a plan. Make sure you have a plan when you are preparing, setting up an online meeting so that you can make sure you are making the best use of everyone's valuable time. Now, in my next video, that is exactly what I'm going to focus on, how to create a plan and how to create a structure on an online meeting. But for now, that's it. If you have any questions at all, please do pop them below and I will get back to you. Please do share it with your colleagues so you can make sure that all of your online experiences are better going forward. Please hit the subscribe button too, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for watching that video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, here's a link to some more. Please do subscribe because I'll be uploading videos weekly.